folks. Just get some links up here. Here. This may be a little loud. All right. Welcome, welcome. We got a lot of work to do tonight. This Doc Ock has got a ways to go. All right. So many places to post now. I got on Blue Sky. I don't know how that's going to pan out, but we'll see. I'm still mostly on everything else. All right. So first, I wanted to show a couple books here. I've got this one here. So my buddy Derek Jones just moved to Chicago from Philly, and I met him way back in the day on Tumblr, and then we connected in person at C2E2 a couple of years ago, and he's a super cool dude, and so we've been chilling out. He's part of the Chicago community now. So this is his book that he just released, Urges. He's a super cool artist, very nice guy, great energy to his work. I would almost call it like a cross between, I don't know. There's some Paul Pope influence in here. Let me show you some choice stuff here. Okay. So, Urges, kind of a cool monster dating book. But he's got a great sense of light and dark. Cool gory stuff in here, little Ninja Scroll homage right here. Derek's very good though and very cool. I think that they did this through Kickstarter, and I believe they have some more story coming. Look at that, isn't that cool? That's an awesome painting he did. So yeah, this is their book. It's called Urges. This is the first issue. Eric Freitas. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Apologies, Eric, if I got it wrong. Dare to succumb to the allure of urges and prepare to be consumed by the darkness that lies within. Pretty cool. If you're into Black Mirror, Twilight Zone, Creep Show, I think you might dig this. So check it out. And when he was over, this book came up that some of you folks might have heard of. Cry Punch Comics was a book that came out not too long ago, probably 3 or 4 years ago now that I think about it. And it's like an a manga collection sort of, but it's all by I think most of them are non-Japanese artists. And there's some really cool stuff in here. There's some things I didn't love about the way they put it together, but I do like the paper choices they use, kind of like a newsprint, black and white. All the stories are black and white. A lot of people using zip tones. Here's some of Al Gofa's work. Al did a book called Dark Angels of Darkness, which I really, really liked, and it sort of got me into their work. I haven't read much since then that really compared to that, but Dark Angels of Darkness is awesome. The cool thing in here, it's filled with great artists, don't get me wrong. This whole book has some really cool people in it, but the standouts for me is there is a story in here by... Where is it at here? As you can see, it's very big. So they got Linnea Sert, which don't know if I'm saying that right either, but that's a cool artist. They did a book called Stages of Rot, which was really good. And then, where is it? Darn it. Just kind of giving you a brief overview here, but I wanted to see a couple artists in particular. It's kind of, oh, here we go. Submission. This is by Maxime. Oh man, how do you say their name? Maxime Guérin. This is awesome. This story is crazy. The story is actually crazy, but then the illustrations are great. The sense of kind of weight and volume that Maxime gets, even with kind of simplistic sort of forms. The way they choose to light their scenes, angle choices are great. The expressions on the characters are cool. Really strong brush line. I really liked this story, and I really like Maxime's work in general. But the story was actually pretty intriguing too. It's like pretty messed up and pretty, I guess, open-ended as far as what you want to take from it. But it's very well told. Very well told. This little section here is pretty cool. You have this little, them in the window, or people in the window looking into them. This kind of line between them that goes to here. It almost functions as a panel border here. But then this almost looks like a panel, but it's the door light coming in and casting a shadow across them, which is so cool. There's a bunch of like little things like that. Like here, there's a close-up of his shoulder, but since it's all on a black background, it sits right in front of his eye line as well. So it sort of makes the moment a little more intimate. But yeah, it's like about these kids doing like jujitsu, and some crazy kid shows up that's like really good at jujitsu and starts kind of messing up the world. There's a really cool Nick Dragata in here. This is, I think, pre Ghost Cage, but it's him really doing his sort of anime thing. I love Dragata's work in general, but I really like what he did on Ghost Cage and the way he kind of was just working with a lot of the tools of manga. I love to see people using manga techniques and manga styles outside of just people from Japan, because I think that you get some really interesting results. And Ghost Cage was really cool. I would recommend checking it out. But this is a neat little short that he did as well that has some cool stuff in it. And then this story here is by Vladis. What's his name? I'm going to say it wrong, and I apologize, but it's Vlad Legostev. Man, oh man, oh man. This is a cool one. This one is sort of like, it almost looks like Shiro mixed with James Herron mixed with, I don't know, there's like a little Miyazaki in here. Big character expressions, really neat line work. As you can see, not all of the tone choices on this reproduced very well, which is a little unfortunate. It still works as sort of a gray tone, Getting the zip tones to reproduce is really tricky. But man, oh man, Vlad does some very cool stuff. I've been following their work for a while, and they do a lot of really cool commission work is where I first saw them. But then I saw them doing these sequentials, and it looks like it could be a manga. I mean, he's got a great take on these manga techniques. Like, you got your straight up, normal speed lines, but then he's doing a lot of these sort of sketchier ones, which you see artists like and like Blade of the Immortal is a place you'll see stuff like that. Yeah. The other person I was thinking of is escaping my mind right now, of course. But a very cool book, full of really cool stuff. This last one is pretty neat too. So check it out, Cry Punch. They did some other collection which I didn't get. This one seemed, I thought there would be more of these, but I don't know. I think there's been some drama or something. I have no idea. But this is a really neat artifact. I recommend picking it up. So, I was gonna wait till the end, but maybe I'll just do it. So the SCHLUB is the book I'm working on right now. And here, let me get this doc off back up here so you're not looking at nothing. It's written by Ryan Stegman and Kenny Porter, drawn by me, colors by Mike Spicer. It has been solicited. People can go order it from their comic shop right now, and it comes out in August. So issue 1 is solicited, and issue 2 is solicited. So you can see the issue 1 and 2 covers. But nobody's seen issue 3 cover yet. So I'm going to show you guys a quick peek at the line art of the issue 3 of the SCHLUB cover. Sans colors and stuff. Just as a little sneak peek here, because it'll be in the next issue's previews. You'll see this. So here's the SCHLUB number 3 cover A is what it'll be. So Stegman's doing covers too, but this is mine. Went with a big kind of angular composition. Tried to really pull some big areas of black in. Add the sort of weightlessness of objects as this creature crashes in. I'm sometimes afraid to use my motion blur, whatever effect you want to call it, that a lot of people notice that I do. A lot of times I'm like wary of using it on covers because I feel like it's so specific to paneled situations, but I went ahead and went for it here, and I think it turned out pretty cool. So yeah, that's the cover to the SCHLUB issue 3. And if you haven't seen the issue for number 2, it's out there. It's on my social media, and it's out there. And boy, oh boy, that one is one I'm really proud of as well. I'll have to show the original art off for that at some point as well. Been very busy, and so I thank you. Is it Eli or Ellie? Either way, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I've been really busy. I kind of had an artistic block the week after, what is it called? Independence Day, 4th of July. And that's when I had to do a couple other covers, not that one, covers for other things. And so I was down to the wire on a couple things, and I felt pretty bad because I had to send my colorist, Mike, I say my colorist, the colorist we have. I don't own Mike. He's his own awesome artist. But I sent it to him so late. But the thing I can't even tell you what it's for, but the thing he colored turned out really awesome, even though I didn't give him a whole lot of time. But anyway, long story short, I've been really busy. And so I didn't stream on the 4th, obviously, because, holiday. I wanted to spend time with my family. And then the following week, I was just so busy that I could not do it. So it's good to be back this week. I've never drawn Doc Ock that I can think of, and I think I'm going to go with this old school version. Again, thanks Eli with the compliments. I'm glad you dug the cover. I am really happy with how that one turned out as well. There's a couple Easter eggs on that cover. I like to put little Easter eggs in some of the art in the book and on the covers, so that issue 3 cover has a couple little Easter eggs in there. So I'm not even sure what I'm doing here, guys. We're just playing. So we'll see if this one turns out good or not. I have no reason to be drawing Doc Ock. I literally was sitting there with my kid. She was watching Coraline, which she calls the creepy movie. And I was like, man, what am I going to draw? I was like, I got to stream tonight. Like, I don't know what I'm going to draw. And like, for some reason, Doc Ock just popped in my head. Now, I was talking about Spider-Man earlier because my daughter kind of likes that kids show Spider-Man, and we were playing Spider-Man out in the front yard, and maybe that's why. We were talking about Rhino, though. She always brings up Rhino and Goblin. I think are her favorite villains from Spider-Man. Trying to decide where I want these tentacles to cut across here. I don't know if any of this even makes any sense to anyone else. I'm kind of starting to pull the figures out here, but I start pretty loose like this, and then I like to work back in with my eraser and kind of figure out kind of where they are in there, where the figures are, where the things are. I like this sharpness I got on this tentacle over here. I might have to. I kind of like the 2 pincher style. This is the old one, but I don't know. We'll see. I know there's a lot of iterations on him. Yeah, Coraline is creepy, definitely. yeah, guys, again, I'm just kind of doing my own version here, so if there's any purists, I apologize in advance. I am not. I do like Spider-Man, I think more now than I used to. When I was a kid, I was much more like X-Men, Punisher, Image Comics, that kind of stuff. And I feel like I discovered Spider-Man a lot later. I liked Venom when I was a kid, of course. I mean, who doesn't? But yeah, I think I was a late comer to Spider-Man, and I think I really honestly the most I read it was probably during some of John Romita's run. I can't remember. I think it was Straczynski probably writing it, and there was some really good stuff in there. Especially the Romita work is really good in those. Sorry, water break here. I've been talking a lot lately. I've done a couple. Oops, there goes my head again. Sorry. I've done a couple interview. Well, I've done more than a couple interviews for the SCHLUB on a lot of really great podcasts, and a couple of them are already out. So, in case anybody missed it, I was on Blake's Buzz, which is on YouTube. Blake's Buzz. He did a really fun interview with me. Had a lot of great questions about the SCHLUB and working with Ryan, and we had a real good chat. So if you just look up Blake's Buzz, I'm sure you'll find it. And then I also did one with the Comic Book Keepers, and that was a super fun and very just well-conducted interview. It was very, they were great and easy to talk to, and I got to get into some process stuff on there and sort of, talking about influences, and that would be another one I think, I hope you guys will go check out. And then I've got a couple more lined up. The next one I think you'll hear is Comics, Coffee, and Metal, which I did with my friend. I'd like to say my friend, Don Cardenas. Don is a really cool guy. He's had me on the show a few times. And it was really fun to be on again to talk about the SCHLUB. I've known Don around the scene for a while now, and he's a comic book artist as well, but he does this podcast where he talks about comics, coffee, and metal with people, and I love all of those things. So he's had me on a few times, and I really loved talking metal with him. He's got a really deep base of knowledge about it. So yeah, check out Comics, Coffee, Metal. I think that will be out soon. And then I have two more lined up, and I'll wait to reveal those later so the people that are having me on can announce it. And also, if you listen to 11 O'Clock Comics, you can catch an interview with Ryan Stegman, my collaborator and writer on the SCHLUB, and also just a super famous artist in his own right. So he has a really good interview with those guys. I mean, 11 O'Clock Comics has been around forever, and it's sort of like the place, like that's the show. And that was a fun interview too. I would recommend checking that out. Eli, oh man, I tried a Romita Senior piece to do a tribute, and it was so tricky. Yeah, I mean, Romita Senior, his style is one I have a hard time trying to emulate, because it feels so naturalistic, but also it's simplified in a way that it's, it becomes more of a cartoon style. And the way I think something I struggle with sometimes is drawing kind of feminine women, and John Romita Sr. is awesome at it, so I've never really been able to ape him. Now Romita Jr. is probably a bigger influence on me personally, like just because probably when I grew up and just the kind of books he was working on. He is a huge influence to this day on my stuff. I mean, the way he captures weight and form and the efficiency of his storytelling. He's one of the all-time greats. I mean, I'm not saying anything people don't already know here, I guess, but Ramita's a big one for me, both of them, but especially Junior. And yeah, I was sad that that Senior just recently passed. What a life, though, you know? What a life. When I was at Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina, I happened to catch the Marvel superheroes show that's kind of been touring the country, which I missed when it was in Chicago, because I thought it was going to be a cheesy, like, movie, mostly about the Marvel movies, and they're fine, but I don't really care enough to see those in an exhibit. But I was stuck there, well, not stuck there, I was in the city for an extra day after the show ended, and I was like, sure, why not, I'll go check out this thing, and it was chock full of tons of original art from those old books. Like, tons. And so you're sitting there with Jack Kirby drawings and Ditko drawings all the way up to, like, Jim Lee drawings and stuff. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, guys. Like, being in there around that art, it was emotional, you know? I got choked up. Just being in front of a Barry Windsor Smith drawing and a Steve Ditko drawing and a Kirby drawing and just having them right in front of your face. Oh, my goodness. If that little show comes to your town, it is a little pricey. It's like $40 or something. It is worth every penny. I spent probably 3 hours in there just looking at the art. Which, you know, I guess, you know, it's probably different, I guess, if you draw too, but I think even if you're a fan of that stuff, to just see the physical pieces of art. Well, I'm not sure what we're doing here, but I think I'm going to keep them sort of short and rotund. I've been drawing Roger and the SCHLUB, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Is I like drawing these little stout dudes. I kind of want his goggles to look cool. I'm not sure how. I always thought they were rounder. Absolutely right, Eli. It is a legacy, and it's like, and just to also think about how much of an impact that stuff has had, not only on my own life, but on so many other people's lives. And it was by these guys sitting around like this, just drawing and creating things, and they made things that have deeply affected other people, and that's really cool. It's extremely cool. Maybe we'll make this hand kind of cool back here. I was going to just do a little fist, but it'd be fun to see if I can get like some kind of curl in there or something. Yeah, sure. We'll go with that. Something like that. I don't know. Something. Okay. Here. And I'm debating if I want to just go straight up old school coils on this, or maybe do some kind of twist on it. Maybe I'll do a little bit of a twist of some kind. Disney exhibit. Oh wow, animation in World War II, huh? That sounds pretty cool. I'm into that. This cameraman, this is forcing me to really have good posture, so that's good. Now he has a stupid haircut, right? Like it's a bowl cut like this, I think. I did look him up a little bit ago, but I should probably look again. Oh yeah, look at that. I love bad haircuts on villains. Alright. Goggles. Goggles. Maybe not goggles. So I'll get there. I'll get there. What if he's like holding the coil back here? Would that be cool or would that be fucking weird? Kind of pervy? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just send it back. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Good old roll cut. And I want dark. Dark. Arc. Dark. Arc. Go kind of round this time. My buddy Tony let me borrow some graffiti books that he had. I have always loved doing letters and stuff, and been a huge graffiti person. Big influence on me, that kind of stuff. So these are also just a fun time for me to play around with letters on these. Oh, here we go. Maybe I'll send it over his shoulder here. Good work. Okay, okay. Goggles. What do we want these goggles to look like? Should I just look at what he looks like? Let me just see if I get any ideas from it. Talk. Arc. You always got to type in comic now, or they give you a bunch of movie images. And again, I like the Sam Raimi movie, but still. Yeah, some people draw them like little goggles or like sunglasses almost. They're kind of like sunglasses. And he's just like gloves and like he's got like a toad neck thing on here. Got some gloves, a belt. He keeps it simple. I like Doc Ock. He's just like, yeah, man. What else you need? Okay. Okay. We'll go with like a... We'll go with like a sunglasses type thing here. Keeps the frames a little thinner than I was thinking, but... Sure. Should I give him? I'm just gonna do. I'm not even gonna do too many muscles here. I think I'm just gonna keep him kind of schlubby, kind of a little schlubby. We love schlubs over here at Tuesdays with Tyrell. So. All right, let's see what happens, huh? Where's my pen? Where? Okay. Where's my brush pen? That's weird. Okay. We're missing a brush pen. Okay, maybe I'll have to step outside of my comfort zone here. I cannot find my Pentel brush pen. Oh, is that it? I dropped it in the drawer. All right. Let's actually start with the Tombow, though. We're gonna do this. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. This is why. If I had more arms, I could probably draw faster, which would be nice. Doc Ock. There we go. Okay. How do I want to like this? Maybe just top down, I guess. Top right, maybe. All right. Let's just go for it. Sometimes you just gotta go for it. Yeah, man, graffiti is... Well, here's the way I think about it. Like, in relation to comics, at least. Like, the thing that draws me to a lot of people playing with letters and doing graffiti is when you look at a piece of graffiti, or, you know, I hate to use that word, but that's just... Everyone knows what I'm talking about, you know. You're looking at lines and color on a still surface, but they have all this energy in them. You know, they have speed, they have slowness, they have weight, they have brightness and darkness, and they have almost like a roller coaster as you go through the words. And honestly, that's what we're trying to do with or at least what I'm trying to do with comics, is I want to find that magic of where just lines on paper can have an energy. It reaches out. It's like magic, and so anywhere that I see that magic, I'm gonna try to learn from it, you know. And I think it was at some point in high school. I started hanging out with people that were doing some letters, and I started watching like things about graffiti art and stuff. And then when I got to college, I met more people and got to see the kind of rich scene we have here in Chicago, and that cemented it for me. I would spend a lot of time looking at that stuff, and I still do. I follow a lot of graph artists on social medias and stuff, or whatever place they are. Give him a little bit of wrinkles on his clothes too here. That's not a normal thing I'm drawing. Give him some of those. My friend Dan, he likes to draw wrinkly clothes on his characters, but the way he uses it is really cool. He uses it to sort of like show contours and distress on the fabric and stuff. So he always has a lot of ruffly wrinkles all over the bodies and stuff. It was cool to see him do stuff like Powerbomb, where there's a lot more muscle and stuff exposed. I feel like his earlier work didn't have a lot of the sort of typical comic masculinity in it, and that's not a good or bad thing. It's just interesting. We'll see on that. Well, we'll see where that goes. Yeah, manga's great at it. The kanji kind of lends itself to that because they're, that those letter forms are, a lot of them are supposed to be the shapes of objects and stuff. So that language is almost more ideal for it than say ours is. But I guess that's maybe one of the challenges too. Like if you take the English alphabet and you have someone do, say, all the letters in a style, kind of the way a lot of artists will do sometimes as like a exercise, they can really look like anything, because there's no association with them other than that they are a piece of a word. Whereas, yeah, like a kanji or some other languages, the pictorial aspect is something you'd have to contend with, right? Like it looks like a house, but it looks like something else. I mean, that could be cool though. I don't know, just rambling now. So my kid has been drawing comics lately, or like asking me to draw with her, and it might just be a phase, but I'm having fun with it. So she'll sometimes like tell me, we'll say, okay, we're gonna do 5 panels, 5 boxes, and then she'll kind of tell me what she wants in each box, and then we'll sometimes I'll have her draw the faces on it or something, and then I have her color it, and then we kind of decide what the story is as we go. It's been pretty fun. Okay, so these need to feel. My problem with this one is this, but it's got to have a little more funk on it here. Right now it's not fast enough. That's not bad. I'll just maybe a couple flourishes here. Nothing major. some of the designs I see a lot lately are really just overly complicated, man. Like, you got people in a comic book drawing like these movie style seams like everywhere, all over it, and like it can be kind of a cool effect, but in some ways it's limiting because you have less room for exaggerating the different features when they're so based in reality. What happens is it's just to make it look consistent, you kind of end up overdrawing every time you have to draw those kind of costumes, you know, because it's just so much to draw. But okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. More controversial opinions. I kind of like this curly cue here. Oh yeah, that's nice. Pull that. This we go in. Alright, let's get this background one here. I think we're going to erase this mofo. Doc. And what great casting in the Raimi version, you know? Alfred Molina, man. He is fantastic. We're just going to add even more back here. Just fill it out, man. There we go. Alright. A couple little things and then we're going to get rid of this stuff. Ooh, I'll give him a little. I'll give him a little seam now that I've been talking trash about seams. A little seam there. Oh yeah, what a nerd. Here we go. Oh yeah, up here. Okay. Well, we'll just maybe just put a couple of these so I sort of have a general just here. Alright. Okay, gonna get shaky here. I'm already thinking I might put some zip tones on this. We'll see. Oh yeah, that's gonna clean up nice. I should actually, one of these times I stream, I should actually pull up some of the graph artists I follow and give some recs. There's some really good guys out there doing cool stuff. I miss doing logos more often. For all my minis, I do my own logos, and I've done a couple things for other people. The hand-drawn stuff is so much fun. There was a little while on my Instagram I was doing this thing called In the Name of Metal, where I would draw a made-up heavy metal band's like album cover. So I would get to do their logo and then like some sort of artwork that was evocative of whatever I thought that band might sound like. And it was so much fun. And I wish I had time to do it still, because it was like my cool down activity, kind of like what I'm doing now, where like I worked all day and I just want to do something for fun so I don't forget that drawing can be fun. And I haven't done them in a while, but if you go back to my Instagram, you'll see some of the old In the Name of Metal stuff. And one guy, oh man, I was spacing on his name, but one guy actually did he made a song based on one of the drawings I did, which was really cool. It was really cool to see sort of, or to hear, what he thought that band sounded like. And I think he nailed it pretty good. He had messaged me, I think, and said, what do you think they sound like? And I gave him a couple bands' names. And then he just went from there and really did a cool little thing. All right, so yeah, it really was fun, man. I would love to do some more of those. I've still got a list of tons of made-up heavy metal band names from when I was doing those, and that I didn't get to, and so I would love to do some more, or even some more art for bands. That stuff's really fun. I really enjoy that. Other than comics, that's like probably my favorite thing to do, is posters for bands and movies and stuff. I love that kind of thing. I'm trying to knock in some black areas here before I start tightening it up too much. And there goes the ambulances. Without fail. I don't think I've had a stream yet where there has not been an ambulance come by, or a fire truck. I guess that was a fire truck. Well, I hope everybody's okay. City living, baby. Battle of the Bands, that'd be cool. That would be cool. I think there was this website my friend was doing like comics on sometimes that it was like a fight comic, and so your character would fight another character, and then readers would vote on who won after seeing each person's comic. So one guy would draw a comic with his character fighting the other character, and then the other guy would do the same, and then the people would vote on whose was the winner, and then they would move on to the next round. And I thought that was a really cool idea. When he told me the turnaround, though, it was too brutal. I was like, it was like a fight every week or something, and I was like, no, man, like, that's too much. Yeah, that was my friend Andrew Cisco, who is also an awesome artist. Does a lot of kind of fantasy sword and sorcery stuff, but also other things. He was in my anthology, my speculative relationships anthology that I did with my friend Scott. Missed you, Scott. If you're listening out there, buddy, I'd love to see you sometime soon. Yeah, it's looking all right. It's looking all right. Kind of cramping a little bit in my hand here. What that's about. It's probably my change in posture. Oh, that was not where I wanted it to be. Oh well. We'll roll with it. We'll roll with it. And that was my extremely loud neighbors. I don't know if everybody heard that. Oh. Okay, here we go, guys. This is what we do. Do some stretches. I didn't even draw that much today. I mostly worked on my iPad though, and I tend to hold the pencil on the iPad a little differently, and that sometimes makes it hurt a little bit. Got to stretch though. All right, we'll see. Just a cramp, you know. All right. So we gotta keep it loose. There we go. Yeah. I guess. How do I want to do it? Yeah, okay. Some black here. This. Doc Ock. We'll call him Doc Ock. Let's give them laces so people know. I guess I'm covering that, huh? Alright. Okay. Might be time for the pen. I was kind of liking that Tombow. Maybe I'll... Oh, wait a minute. No. First. Let's get this hair finished here. All right. Oh. All right. So. Yeah, you know, just about anything you do is going to have some kind of something that is not ideal, you know. I've had a lot of jobs, and this is my favorite one so far. But yeah, it still has challenges, you know. I think sometimes people think when they get doing, you know, whatever their sort of, I don't know, whatever your dream job or whatever you want to say it is, you a lot of times find there's things that you can also hate about those jobs too. But all in all, occasional hand cramps, back aches, neck aches. A lot of that has to do with how much I've been working out or not working out lately. So I had been off my workout routine for a while, and it was really starting to get to me, and finally picked it back up this week really lightly, sort of like a baby version of my normal thing, and it's like my body immediately felt better and worse at the same time. You know, it felt better as far as the normal sort of aches and pains, but my muscles are sore right now, and my hands got a little different use than they normally do by doing a workout. You know, with weights and stuff, you know, the muscles get a little strained different. Okay, here we go. All right. So let's fatten up some of these boys here. It definitely makes you make your decisions differently, you know, like how you want to draw things. There's sometimes now when I'm like, man, that's going to be a lot of small little lines. Sometimes you can sort of, depending on how you're feeling, you can sort of adapt. I like these shapes I have here on the claws, so I don't want to lose them, but I do want to just close that up a little bit so it reads clear. And then bring this shoulder action kind of. Yeah, so either, but what is, right? Okay, some Nux. Yeah. You know, the thing that I used to do on my old comics, which really isn't an option with what I'm doing right now anyway, but the thing I used to do on my old comics in regards to what you're saying, Eli, or is I used to hand letter them all as well. And if there's one thing that causes the absolute worst cramps for me, it's hand lettering. And I love hand lettering. I love the way it looks. I like doing it, but man, it hurts me a little too much. So lately on my work, what I did is I made a font out of some of my hand lettering, and I use that. It could probably look better, but yeah, I kind of had to give it up for those reasons, but then also just limited time. You know, you don't have time to do it. And then on something like the SCHLUB, an image book, you're going to get a professional letterer. It makes more sense that way. They're going to be worth their weight to you. Nobody hand letters anymore, really, in the mainstream stuff. I see a lot of it in my indie comics friends' work, and that's one of the other reasons I really like indie stuff, is that you see people still doing sort of old craftsmanship type stuff. But I think it's good for every artist to try to hand letter something sometime. You know, get out Names Guide, you know, and just see what it's like. It's pretty zen once you get going. Okay, this needs like a lead off here. I don't know. I don't like that. That might get whited out. Okay, this needs some help here. If someone was still doing hand lettering, like, I would hire them, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if I had the money and the time and the right book, I would hire them. Um, I've actually wanted to just, my friends that do hand lettering, sometimes I just want to ask them to do it for me, like on their own books, but nobody really wants to do that if they are doing their own book as well, you know? I was just my friend MS has a book coming out through Fantagraphics called Time Under Tension, and I really like her lettering, and she does a lot of cool stuff with it and integrates it really well. I will occasionally do the onomatopoeia stuff in my books, and I did a little bit in the SCHLUB. I haven't done tons of it, but I have done a little bit, and partially it's because John, our letterer, is really great, and I just, you know, he's adding his own flair to it, and I definitely don't want to get in the way of that. So it's usually only if I have a really specific idea. And his style is awesome, but it's not exactly like mine, right? So it's, you know, I try to not do it too much, but it's fun sometimes. Especially for little things like a grab or a poke or something. That's so minute and small that it would be silly to ask him to letter that in some ways, but also, like, it's so integrated into the artwork, it makes more sense for me to do it. But if it's a big like kaboom or something like that, unless I have a specific sort of idea on how to integrate it, it's like better for me to focus on just making the image cool and letting John do his thing with letters. And you know, if you have a good letter, it's nice to not have to think about it too much and just kind of trust that they're gonna, you know, make it really work. I definitely don't think it's easy, and I think I used to think that until I tried to do it myself, and then and then when I started working with letterers that do it professionally, you can kind of see, oh, this isn't easy because these guys are doing cool stuff, or oh, this isn't easy because this guy, it doesn't know what he's doing either. You know, it's like, oh, okay, it is hard. You know, it's easy to not do a good job actually. I'm going to try to keep this fairly loose. So yell at me if I start getting a little too detailed here. But for some reason too, for a little bit, I thought he had some of those like slatted glasses with the slits in them, you know, like Big Trouble in Little China style. But I think that I just made that up in my head because I didn't see that. You know who I'm thinking of, I bet, is that Mole Man guy. Whoever he was. What the heck was his name? Oh. Hey, thanks for that, Henry. And congrats on your book coming out, man. My cousin Henry there in the chat. Henry, if you got a link for folks so they can check out your book, man, feel free to drop it in there if it lets you. I don't know if it even does that. But yeah, he is a very awesome writer, and I highly recommend y'all check out his stuff. Don't mean to put you on the spot there, dude, if you don't want to do it. Sorry. I was just excited for you. I saw your post the other day. Look at this little troll. Oh my gosh. Or maybe there was a character named Troll in one of Rob Liefeld's comics too. Now I'm just making free associations, guys. Sorry. But he had glasses too, is I guess what I was going for there. Oh yeah, let's make these a little shinier. Let's make this one fat line. Apparently, my lines are kind of fat. I was listening to people talk, I was talking to people about my work, obviously, lately for these podcasts, and it's weird because I never felt, I think my past work was much more delicate, and at some point, the lines just got fatter. And I think there's an apprehension with a lot of artists, and myself included in the past, to do big, bold lines because it's like a big commitment. But man, a big, bold line that's a little imperfect is sometimes a lot better than 10 small ones that are perfect. muffler or something. Get a little bit of that lightning going there. That funk. Gotta put the funk on it. Kind of fun. He's kind of a fun guy to draw. Well, Henry's behind on the stream. That reminds me, because I usually play video. I used to play video games a lot with my cousin and some other folks. And I have been playing again, not with them, but on my own. I've been playing some cool games. I think I mentioned last time I was on here that I played a game called Carry On, which was super fun. I finally finished it and the DLC for it. Man, what a cool game. You play as this creature sort of destroying a science, like a scientific lab, and it was so much fun. It was a really cool, fun, kind of a puzzling, side-scroller horror game. And so then I tried again to play this game Agony, which I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but it's this like Hellraiser kind of game where you're in hell and like it looks kind of like a H.R. Giger painting or something, and it is so bad. Like I got it because I knew it was bad, but it's almost so bad it's hard to play. Like it's incomprehensible and it doesn't work right, and so I started that one and I was like, no. And then I installed this game called Ruiner, which is like a kind of top-down shoot-'em-up cyberpunk game, and it was super fun so far as well. So if any gamers out there, you might check some of those out. Thanks, Eli. I like that you're liking it. I was lost there for a second, but I think I'm finding my way back. I think I'm going to need a little something in the background, and that will probably end up being some zips. So I do need to get some more Spider-Man books, though. I don't have enough. The last one I was checking out was Nonstop Spider-Man by Bocello, and I ended up picking up a couple issues of it, and I really like it, and I keep thinking, oh, I should get the trade so I have all of the issues. But it's like I have 2 of the 4 issues, I think, that Bocello drew, and so I'm like, gosh, maybe I should just track down those 2 issues. But anyway, he was a great fit on that book. I've always liked Bocello's stuff, and he did some cool stuff on that. He was turning all the pages sideways and stuff, and all the panels were sort of all off kilter. And it was really neat. It was like a very simple sort of decision, but it worked really well. And then he was going more in his cartoony direction, which I tend to like when he's a little more cartoony and a little more expressive in the characters. And he sort of makes Spider-Man look like a little kid almost. It was kind of interesting. And Bocello can draw a mean monster truck. Dude knows how to draw a monster truck. And it's him with Townsend, which honestly, Bocello is always best with Townsend inking him. His inks are perfect for Bocello's art. He's worked with some other guys that are good, like Richard Friend did some cool stuff on, I think it was on Steampunk. But that's almost such a different style book that I don't know if that style would work on other things. But Townsend, man, Townsend is one of my favorite inkers that's around right now. He's been around a long time, but Townsend is just got such a great line quality, such brush control. Doc Ock. Alright. Baldur's Gate 3. Okay, yeah. Yeah, see, that's why I don't play games much anymore, is because you don't really get much drawing done when you play video games all the time. But I feel you. I feel you, man. You know what? Can I do all this with Posca? Or do I gotta break out the whiteout? Let's see what I can do with the Posca first. Okay, so we'll start with these guys. It's like if I break out the whiteout, I always have to like leave the room to go wash my brush. So I'll try to avoid it. Posca doesn't always cover quite as good, but you can get these cool little lines. It's not quite as precise as the brush either, not this size at least that I have here. And the only other ones I have are fatter, so. This is where it gets funky, is when you try to cover a big area, so. You'll just kind of loosely go in there. I've never played a Baldur's Gate game, by the way. I don't know. I'm pretty lame when it comes to games, actually. I tend to like stuff that's old. But I've been trying to try more stuff outside of my wheelhouse, but I'm doing that mostly with indie games lately. Because it feels like they're a little more easy to take in, and I like supporting indie makers in any field. So that being said, I still get down with some of the bigger stuff, although I haven't finished Callisto Protocol yet. I know, very behind. I think when I finish this next issue of the SCHLUB, I'm going to take a short break, maybe like take a week off, catch up on some games. I say this, but I have so much to do. We'll see. Good things to have, though. Good problems to have. Oh, that's kind of nice. Maybe just a couple. Yeah. Oh, Halo. Dude, Henry died. I shouldn't get into this on the call. But in any case, Henry, I'm getting the new Xbox for free. Whatever the newest, the Series S or whatever. So, but I have that collection. I have the Master Chief collection. I've been wanting to just play through all those. Maybe that's what I should do. That would hold my attention. I know what to expect. Oh, that was the other game I just picked up. It's called Heavenly Bodies, and it's a trip of a game. You're like an astronaut in space, and you're like a little guy. It's an indie game, and you kind of float through space, and you can only like reach with your arms and grab things to kind of move around. It's kind of infuriating, but it's also so you're trying to do things like fix antenna arrays and all that kind of stuff. But that's all you can do. It sort of reminds me of like Gang Beasts, but like if Gang Beasts was not fun, but like more of an exercise in frustration. That being said, it's kind of a neat concept for a game. I'm not sure if I'll finish it, but I really it makes me calm down. I have to calm down when I'm playing it because it's not a fast-paced thing. Okay. I think I'm ready to. I'm going to put some tones on this, I think, y'all. I think I need some tones on this background. Okay. Let me see what I got over here in the tone drawer. Yeah, Heavenly Bodies, Henry. Yeah, it made me want to play Gang Beasts, honestly. But, alright, let's get a dark tone here. Something dark. These aren't big enough. I've used like all my big ones already. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. What is that? SE421? Yeah, 4021. We'll do 4021, folks. Even though it ain't gonna cover the whole thing. I could fill the top with black, I guess. Let's see. Let's pull it out and see. Here, while I get this out. Oh wait, here we go. Alright, so just saw a line I want to fix. That always happens. Okay. This is kind of bobbly here. A little bobbly. It's frustrating. Alright, let's fix this line first. Sorry, there's my head again. You guys can check out my hairline. All right. So, if you're gonna go down that far, let's just do that. This is a fun one. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right. See you, Henry. Thanks for checking in, buddy. Say hi to the family. Oh. All right, let's leave you right here because you're gonna get something back. Cash back. Okay. Doc Ock. Hey guys, Doc Ock is his name. Let's see if we can get a big old chunk out of here to use again on a different piece. Because this stuff is expensive. Too expensive, but darn if it ain't fun. My buddy Derek that I was talking about earlier and showing you his comic, he said him and his buddy got some Letraset and were able to print some tones with it. And so they've been using that, and it's pretty neat. It's definitely stickier than this, so you have to be a little more careful when you're putting it down. but the effect is really neat, and you can print whatever you want onto it. I didn't even know that stuff was around, so like right now to buy. So he brought some by. It was pretty neat. It worked a lot like Ziptone. Okay, we are getting there. If I chop my hand off or something here, folks, please call the doctors for me. And even though this looks tedious, it's actually pretty fun. The feeling of the blade going across here is fun. Okay, what are the odds I get this whole piece up? If you're a betting person, I would probably bet against it. It will probably rip, but we'll try. Oh. It's these little corners here where it always gets a little hairy. Darn you. I had it. I'm sure this is riveting. Okay. Let's get this boy here. Oh, you see, I forgot right here. His fingers are probably going to be a punk about it, aren't they? This is way too much effort, you guys. To just get it in one piece, I should just rip it. It's so satisfying though when you can get it all. Hey, look at that. Boosh. Got it. Alright. We're going to store this for a later date. Okay. Now let's get the rest of it. Oh, you've never seen these on? Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. The first time I did it, I got way too... even what I'm doing now is a little more probably precise than you should be, because if you leave tiny pieces, you know, too small in here, it just rips up, you know. So the key is like press it down where it's going to stay, and then especially in these tiny spots like right here, which you got to be careful that they don't peel up. And so it's better to mix like with some scratching off, because then that that still gives you a similar effect. And actually it's kind of fun if you leave some spots like I did. You can kind of play with that to create some different values. So that's what we're going to try to do here in a minute after I get the ACH out of here. And it's funny, I put this all together and now I'm like, I'm going to move this down. Cut it. Alright, that's good enough. Okay, ACH. Well now, come on. It's going so well on the other one. There we go. And look at that. Pops it right out, don't it? We'll see if these stay on there. Pops it right out. Okay. So now we're going to go in here. We're going to scratch a little bit. Mm-hmm. Every little bit helps here. Do the same thing here. Let's see if we can do some directional ones here. A little more form. I never feel like I'm getting my blade in there the right way though. It always feels like I have. It's not sharp enough, and I'll get a new blade and then it still doesn't feel sharp enough. But hey, it's working. That's kind of nice. That's kind of working. Oh, see? I got it there for a second. Starts to peel up. So yeah, it's not like, honestly, it's like, that's the one downside to it is that, if your piece gets bent around or moved too much, you can lose pieces of this, All right, a couple little final touches here, and I think we're almost there. We're just gonna give this this bottom a little something to kind of pop it, since I don't got the tones back there. Sort of do the most efficient thing we can do, which is a single hatch. And we're just gonna let his feet disappear, Rob Liefeld style. How do you like that? All right, and then let's give it a little cast. And then let's fatten this up. Should I do it? Should I do it? I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. We're going to give a little bubble glow on these letters. Doc Ock. Maybe a couple more touches like that. I like those little thin lines in there. Yeah. Yeah, here we go. I guess I should sign this SOB. We'll stick it right down here. TOC 2023. All right. Who needs feet when you have 6 arms? So there's a Doc Ock, folks. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Again, SCHLUB is out. Well, final order cutoff is the 31st of July, so you got about a week or two to get to your local shop. Tell them you want the SCHLUB. Go ahead and subscribe to the series. At the very least, order the first issue. But I know if you read the first issue, you're going to want to keep going. So just subscribe to the series. I would recommend getting the main covers by me. But if you're a Ryan Stegman fan or a completist, you can also order those. And it will be out on August 23rd. And I'll be doing a signing at Challengers Comics on August 23rd. And then another signing at In This Issue Comics in Iowa, Bettendorf, Iowa, which I have an exclusive cover coming out with them for the book. And so I will be revealing that soon, so stay tuned. But thanks, guys, for checking it out. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And, oh, yeah, one last thing. So this drawing, along with any other drawings I do on the stream, are always posted up on my website for sale. So if you go to tyrellcannon.com, maybe not tomorrow morning, but the next day, these will be listed for sale. So if anyone is ever interested, go check them out on tyrellcannon.com. Thank you guys so much. Stay cool, and we'll see you next week.